and probably abroad that they have brought here over the last 24 months. And while there's a lot of talk about Germany and what it's accomplished in solar, and trying to compare ourselves with Germany, I think what we should also take cognizance of now and appreciate ourselves for is not going too fast and falling flat. I think that's something that's less spoken about, the experiences of whether it's Italy or Spain or a lot of other European countries that have started, gone too fast and then died down. I think that's something that many of us have not spent time thinking about or talking about, And that's something I'm proud of, that in India it's been what it is, but it's not died down. We are continuing and we're doing it very well. Something to be proud of. So often we hear about Germany and what Germany is doing, but not about Spain or Italy or what's happened there. So with that, I think what I'd like everybody to do is share their experiences across India, developing kilowatt, megawatt scale, wherever space they are in, and their experiences of what they learned and how they intend to bring this into Tamil Nadu. Pashu, maybe start with you.
Thank you very much, Vineet, and it's an honor and pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me and Sun Edison to participate. So I run the operations for Sun Edison in Asia and parts of Africa. Maybe I'll break up my comments into two sections. One is what have we seen happen in India in recent times, as well as what we're seeing in other parts of the world that may be relevant for India in the coming months or coming years. In India, so it's been a lot of wait and watch in India the last year or so. We've been very eagerly waiting for the National Solar Mission, and I'm very, very happy that the government has moved forward and the program is underway now. So we're very excited about it. So that's point number one on utility scale projects. On the distributed rooftops and smaller projects less than 100 kilowatts, we've executed a lot of projects, but we are still quite disappointed with the program itself. I think the 30% capital subsidy which is available for this program somehow has not been very operational and has been a key barrier in my view for sort of explosive growth. So the government should think about what they can do to, in my view, I think I've been somewhat controversial in the past in saying that perhaps this capital subsidy should just be eliminated completely, because solar is definitely in certain states like Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, I think solar is starting to be at parity with commercial customer and commercial tariffs, so it's quite interesting. The last and final point I'd like to make is it's very heartening to see a lot of effort underway with solar water pumping for irrigation in various states. We've seen interest in Rajasthan, which is, I would say, in some sort a pioneer in India as far as irrigation pumping is concerned. I think this is one application where solar is going to revolutionize the electricity sector in India, and we are very heartened by what Rajasthan has done, and then closely followed by other states including Tamil Nadu. Some of my comments globally that we're seeing is we're building a 100 megawatt commercial power plant with solar in Chile, selling to a mining off-taker without any government subsidy, which is very, very interesting, and hopefully we will see similar plants in India. We're building a 50 megawatt solar merchant power plant, which is financed and closed and under construction. Another sort of landmark milestone for the entire solar industry, which again tells you that solar is coming off of age, and we're starting to see power plants which are without any government subsidies. A very, I think, momentous time in the solar industry. Maybe I'll stop here because I think I can go on with a few more comments, but at least what I would say is solar is coming off of age, and one can visualize hundreds of megawatts of power plant being built just like any other resource. In certain cases it's possible, and I'm sure India it's not too far behind. Both the power plants are in Chile. Interestingly, it's primarily driven because of the energy prices in Chile as well as the resource mix in Chile. Chile is one of these countries where you don't have natural resources for energy, so they import a lot of gas, which makes it expensive. But this is true for other countries like Thailand as well, where gas is running out and 70% of the country's electricity comes from gas. India is a problem as well because every passing year, more and more coal is being imported, which exposes the country to transfer pricing regulations which countries like Indonesia, Australia and South Africa come up with, as well as the foreign, Indian rupee depreciation also hurts these power plants. So I think India is not free from these issues which can help India. So I have more comments, but I'm sure I'll get more chance, so I'll reserve them for later. Thank you.
Anil, your thoughts?
Hello everybody. Thanks Vineet. I'm Anil Jain from Reflex Energy. We are primarily into solar EPC business. We've been here from 2008 and we have seen all the ups and downs of industry, right from the stage where nobody would even let us come inside their office because we were into solar, to a stage where we get calls from every corporate saying that they want to install solar. We've gone through a lot of policies. We have seen tariffs from 18 rupees to 6.5 rupees. India is a very different market from the rest of the world. We've been working on a few projects overseas also, but they are nowhere compared to what India can do or achieve. Yes, there are some policy hiccups, but we do see that with industry and a lot of people pushing this to the right people, right decision makers in the government, bureaucrats, etc., to see if we have the right policy in place. We do see this hurdles continue for some more, maybe 1 or 2 years. On a state level, on a national level, I think National Solar Mission is set now. Both the options are going to be tried and tested, the bundling of power and now the VGF. And while talking to the top bureaucrats, they do feel that it's at a test for both these policies. And I think if both these are going to work, then they will not require any more subsidies. Not a lot of subsidies will be required to push this solar. With this tariffs coming down and people are working on projects without subsidies, I think it's a great move ahead. A rooftop project, like Pashu said, it's either they should remove the subsidy fully or they should honor the commitment, because when we go to consumers, they say that there's a 30% subsidy and you bear that subsidy and you get it from the government, because nobody wants to go through this difficult process of getting the subsidy. And if you remove the subsidy and if the consumer knows there's no subsidy, they are still willing to go ahead and do the projects. We have seen tremendous inquiries in the last 1.5 to 2 years from every sector of industry, small, big, medium, to set up solar, they have interest in solar. From the time when we thought that whether solar will work or not work, though we had a foreign partner when we initially started who gave us the confidence that solar will work, to a situation where we are seeing which is the best way to work in solar. We've come a long way. Internationally, we are working in Indonesia, which is a very good market. I mean, it's a very different market because it's full of natural resources of coal, but they have another big problem is there are about 14,000 islands where there are habitat, where they cannot have transmission line or smaller power plants, which most of these run on DG sets. Even transportation of fuel is very expensive there. The cost of power currently is about 20 rupees a unit and 25 rupees a unit. So their policy is an excellent policy, and I think it's a different market where they have the natural resources, but then solar is still going to play a big role there. That's about it. I think I'll give the chance to rest. Thanks.
Manish?
Yeah, good morning everybody. Chemtrol's solar was started in 2010, and it's been one sector where we've seen so much of volatility, so much of excitement in every sense, both in terms of technology, in terms of the companies that are coming, in terms of policy. In every sense, it's been one of the most exciting sectors over the last 3 to 4 years. In fact, I would go so far as to compare it to the late 90s, dot-com boom, or at least even somewhere close to it. I'll divide my remarks into 3. One is megawatt scale systems, second is decentralized or off-grid systems, and third is the domestic or the retail opportunity. If you look at megawatt scale systems, way back in 2010, when JNNSM was first launched, there were only 2 policies. One is Gujarat and one is the JNNSM policy. And if you look at what's happened since then, today India has an installed capacity of 2 gigawatts. Out of those 2 gigawatts, 1.5 gigawatts is just in 2 states, Rajasthan and Gujarat. 850 in Gujarat and the remaining in Rajasthan. Over time, over the last 2 years, we've seen other states also taking initiatives. So states like TN, AP, Madhya Pradesh, UP has just announced solar policy. So we expect this concentration of solar, which was so far only in 2 or 3 states, to actually increase and be there all across India. Now coming to the, the golden words in solar, which is grid parity. The fact is, commercial grid parities has actually been achieved in peak power situations in Maharashtra and TN. Maharashtra has the highest